the exports from China going to the US has actually been dropping year by year. So in 2020, almost 18% of all exports went to the US. 2021 dropped down to 17%, 2022 it dropped down to 16%, and what I've been hearing currently, we're about 14% of their exports. So China has already had to export quite a bit to other countries. Back in like 2015, 16, we were up at, we're in the 20-some% of their exports. We're almost up to a quarter of everything that China shipped out was coming to the US. So that has been going down, and I don't see that reversing. And trying to find other economies to take it on is kind of tough because honestly, the world economy is not doing great. They're not really in a position to just take over from the US. And the US is also a better export market for them because just put it bluntly, we're wealthier, as is Europe and some other places. But the US is the largest economy of wealthy consumers. And we are more particular about getting our stuff on time, getting in the quality we want, and we're willing to pay a little more for that to get it. And, China, from that standpoint, loves to work with, the American consumer. I get emails all the time where companies are asking me to, import their products. They'll give me a good deal on a container. They need U.S. importers. I even go to auctions where there will be large quantities of Chinese products, whether it's toolboxes or skid steers or backhoes, and they're sending them to these auctions just because they need to move them. And I think part of it is because of overproduction. However, I think there's also a big part of it that they just don't have other way to get them into the country, because when I look at a lot of these products, they actually have a little slip on them that says wanting U.S. importers. So they are desperately trying to get their products into the U.S. because they know we're willing to buy them. And Americans tend to have larger property and larger houses and more room for stuff. So just saying, okay, we're going to turn around and we're going to sell this to India, or we're going to sell it to Russia, or we're going to sell it to, any other economy. It's a tough one. I mean, you can go to Australia, or you can go to Britain, or you can go to, Germany, and they have consumers that have some money, but it's a much smaller market. You would have to gain, 10 of those markets to offset the US market.